String methods are sometimes very tricky and you find that difficult to master. Don't worry, in today's tutorial, I will fully explain some of the useful methods to deal with most problems you encounter. Hey, how is it going? It's Anthony with Take a Sip, helping you step-by-step master Java programming. And if you're new here and you're into programming, please consider subscribing. Okay, first let's just set up our project by right-click at the left panel and create a new Java project. Here we're gonna call it string method and hit finish. And as always do, we create a new class in the source folder. We're gonna call it method, and make sure that you check at the first option and hit finish. So in the last tutorial, I did introduce you one method in Java, which is the replace all in Java. And if you haven't watched that video, make sure that you watch that video before watching this tutorial. So today I'm gonna introduce to you other methods to work with strings in Java. Okay, so first let's just create a new Java string in Java. So string, we're gonna call it name, and I'm gonna write it take a sip. So the first method we're gonna dive into is the method to get the length of a string. So we're gonna call it length equal name dot length. Okay, so if we print out length, we will get 10, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. The second method we're gonna discuss today is the method to convert all the character inside a string to the uppercase format. So we're gonna create a new formatted string, and let's assign that to name.toUpperCase here. And if we print our formatted string, we will get take a sip with all uppercase character inside that string. Similarly, if we need to convert all the character in a string into the lowercase format, we're gonna use the similar method. Let's call the string as lower string and assign that to name.toLowerCase. So if we print out lower string, we can get take a sip with all lowercase character in a string. Now let's look at our next method. So our next method is startsWith method. So this method is to check if a string starts with a specific string. So let's say, for example, if we print out name.startWith and we put a string inside here and we put te, and if we run the file, we will get true. It means that the string name starts with a string te. Okay, so if we replace this by bu, so it will print out false. It means that the string name doesn't start with bu. Okay, so similarly we also have endsWith, which means to check if the strings end with a specific string. So if we run name.endWith bu, we will get false because name end with ip or sip. And if we replace bu by sip and if we run the file again, it will print out true. Okay, now let's move to our next method. So we're gonna create a new string and we're gonna call it empty string and initialize that with the double quote symbol like here. And our next method is empty string dot is empty to check if a string is empty or not. So if we run empty string.empty, it would print out true. And if we print out name.empty, it will print out false. Okay, and even if the string empty string, it has a space in here, and if we print out empty string, it will still draw the false message. Okay, because the string contain the white space is, and the method here is to check if the string is empty or not. But here the empty string, it has the blank space in as a content. Okay, so our next method is to return the character at the specific index in a string. So let's say, for example, we can print out name.charAt, and we put 0 here, and if we run the file, it will print out the t, which is the first character in a string, because in a string all the index start from 0 instead of 1. So t here, it has the index of 0, and e, it has index of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if we want to return the last character in a string, we need to print out name.charAt lang, which is the lang -1, which is the last character in a string. So if we run, we'll get p, which is the last character in a string. Okay, our next method is a very important one. So our next method is name.substring, is to get a substring from an index to one index. So there are 2 parameters in the parentheses like this, and let's say, for example, it begin and end. So the name.substring begin and end, so it takes the string from begin to n -1. So if we replace here by 0 and 1, Java would take the string from the index 0 to 1 - 1, which is 0. So it would take the first letter, and if we run this, we'll get t. Okay, so if we want to get the text string in the string name, we can say which is 0 1 2 3, we can say 0 to 4, and if we run this, we will get text. Okay, actually there are a lot more methods for string in Java. You can find them by type in name, which is the name of the string, and put the dot after the string. So it will pop up a menu, a list like this, and you can scroll to look for the appropriate method. So if we can see substring index, and you can read the description of that method. Say here, for example, it will return a string that is a string of that string, and the substring begin at the begin index until the index n -1. So you can find a lot more method for string here, like the replace all, replace first, split, contain, and a lot more here. So you can look it up on your own. So those are the few of the more useful string in Java, and if you like, I will put my today code in the description to make it easier for you to follow along. And before you leave, could you do me a favor? Please subscribe to my channel, smash the like button, and comment down below if you find this tutorial helpful. And okay, now see you in the next tutorial.